Whitaker. Maplewood has been my home for the last 10 years and SOMSD my employer for the last 14. Throughout that time, my commitment to the academic and social well-being of students in our district is well documented. I have served as MLTA advisor for several years, and I am currently an advisor to the MAC Scholars and assistant varsity girls basketball coach. In the last 2 years, I have worked with the Parenting Center conducting workshops on how to talk to your kids about police brutality in the light of events in Ferguson, Baltimore, North Charlotte, and New York City. This past year, I participated in the Superintendent's Education Summit, conducting a standing room only workshop on profiling black students. This winter, I served on the Superintendent's Strategic Planning Committee. All of this is to show that I have demonstrated a thorough commitment to this district, and there is a truth that I have to speak to. Over the last few months, I have received many questions from parents and students as to where the teachers have been on the budget and other new policies. The truth of the matter is that teachers were planning a long time ago to organize much earlier. However, according to district leadership, they were advised to, quote, discourage their people from organizing, but they would feel the wrath of these superintendents. As a matter of public principle, I have to publicly question this because, again, I sat on the Strategic Planning Committee with members that I know and respect, such as Audrey Rowe and Walter Fields. Given the fiscal status and recent budget cuts, I have to think that the tone and content of strategic planning would have been much different had we known then what we know now. For the last few months, teachers have been scared, frustrated, and angry. In light of the recent cuts and personnel decisions, many fear that the impact on access and equity, which we do support, and other programs will be devastating. You will hear more from Samaya in the very near future. We are not your enemy. Recent events have demonstrated once again that despite the degree to which we trumpet diversity, issues of race and racism remain in our district.
I yield my time.
In the interest of full disclosure, I was the teacher who sent the picture to building administration after receiving it from one of my students. This is the blackface picture that has been wrapped in our district for the past 2 weeks. Here is the problem. This most recent event is merely the latest of many incidents that constitute a pattern of obfuscation and refusal to address racism head-on with the conviction necessary to begin the healing process. During my past 14 years at SOMSD, I have witnessed the dismissal of a known racist principal, Renee Pollock. Student voices were shut down until they had enough, walked out for days, and told their truth. As someone who experienced her wrath firsthand, my question is, why are we replicating the same problem of shutting down student voices when there was so much effort made to remove it in the past? 4 years ago, there was an incident of racism at a student volleyball game where one student team named themselves the South and adorned the back of their orange shirts with names and dates that harken back to the days of slavery. This incident happened without ramifications. Students and faculty that expressed our pain and outrage were eventually told that the decisions that had been made were final. Then there was the FNL incident, where CHS students performed skits similar to the popular Saturday Night Live television show. A racist caricature of a black female teacher intended in humor forced school administration to shut down the show, even though it went on to run privately at the Maplewood Country Club. Students and faculty were left upset and dissatisfied yet again. Last week, CHS administration addressed the blackface incident twice, but those well-intentioned efforts fell woefully short in what was needed to satisfy students who were hurt and angry. Teachers, administrators, and district leadership have been trained in restorative practices and restorative circles. Last week would have been the perfect opportunity to put our restorative training to practice, because anyone who knows anything about the history of blackface knows that the ripple effect through this community was staggering. When racist events are glossed over, it leaves the door open for students, teachers, and community members to question the moral and ethical compass of this district. Our officials must understand that accessing institutional memory will allow us to realize that these incidents have occurred in the past and they were detrimental to our district. In some cases, lawsuits were filed and the district had to pay significant sums of money to correct those errors. Given our current financial situation, SOMSD can no longer afford to sell out black children with concerned silence. Thank you for your time.